With so many people disappointed in the Dexter New Blood ending, Scott Buck has given his original plans for the Dexter reboot. Was it better than what we saw? In this video, I'll tell you exactly what it is, and you can be the judge. What up to my thugs, nerds, freaks, and geeks? You're now rocking with the best of Don, Tony, Teflon. If you want that Dexter content, subscribe and click that bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new Dexter video. I will be doing Dexter's best enemies, Dexter's best episodes, Dexter's best seasons, all of that in the upcoming weeks. So make sure you're subscribed so you can get all of that great Dexter goodness. So while Dexter New Blood was penned by the original showrunner Clyde Phillips, Scott Buck had his own plans for Dexter, and he revealed them recently. Let's break it down. Now, he initially pitched a whole different story which never made it beyond the pilot stage. Let's talk about exactly what it was. Mr. Bucks begins by detailing how the possibility of a Dexter spinoff first came about. He says, and I quote, "So that meant, at least to me, that I could have Dexter get captured, because if he is, that makes him the most notorious serial killer in the world. And you can't really do any more future episodes because he's going to walk down that street and everyone he sees is going to recognize him." So that's what sort of led the way the show ended. Airing on September 22nd, 2013, the Dexter series finale, Remember the Monster, was met with mixed critical and fan reception, just like New Blood was met with the same exact reaction by fans. Many viewers were real messed up over the fact that we saw Dexter move to the Pacific Northwest and basically become a goddamn lumberjack. Now, all the fans believed that we would see Dexter again because of this ending, and the showrunner had the same exact idea. This is the reason why he said he ended it this way, because he thought that he was going to be able to come back and do another Dexter show. He says, and I quote, "We ended the show specifically in a way that it could come back because that had always been the intention. And it was actually the network who pitched that to me, that Dexter be a doctor." Dr. Dexter? What the hell is he talking about? All right, let's continue. He says, "I was intrigued by that, but it seemed a little far-fetched that in just a few short years, he could jump through all the hoops and become a doctor. There was also something interesting about him faking credentials, but there's also something a little unsatisfying about that. So I pitched the idea that he would be a paramedic. In a lot of ways, it seems to make sense, because he's still working on some level with human bodies as a scientist. And it was never that he wanted to help people, that he wanted to atone, but rather, if killing was his heroine, then holding lives in the balance would sort of be his methadone. And it's not that we would draw a whole lot of work-related stories, it was just the background to sort of place him in it." Buck notes here that the development of this potential spin-off reboot did not occur after the finale aired, as one might imagine. It was all sort of going on at the same time. We were doing the last season, he reveals. So if that was the case, that a follow-up was being developed before a flagship show aired its final episode, then was it ever in discussion that the show might not end and would simply revive a reboot in season 9? Nope, not really. Michael was absolutely done with the show. Part of it, I would have to say, was my inexperience as a showrunner, that I didn't have lengthy discussions with Michael. If I had a better sense of how much he did not want to do Dexter anymore, that would have also informed the ending in a way that we would never have got right back to next year. It would at least be 3 years before he would have to come back with a new Dexter. If I would no longer be Dexter, one wonders if the project would have premiered under a modified title, much as New Blood eventually did. It would have happened with a new title, Buck says. The whole idea was to completely reinvent Dexter in a world and a new situation, but still the same character. So we were very careful about not making it feel like an actual season 9. The writer points out that the fan chatter that surrounded the original show in weeks leading up to the finale included some wild guesses as to where the franchise might go once the main series took a bow. Some assumed that there might be a Miami Metro spinoff or a show focused on Dexter's troubled cop sister, Deborah. But was there really a chance of a show spinoff without Michael Hall as Dexter? And he says, no. I think that because Showtime was sort of hinting that there was more to come, reporters and journalists were trying to figure out what that meant. Would there be a Jennifer Carpenter spinoff or Miami Metro? So it was just people guessing, but I don't think the network ever had any intention of doing something like that. I mean, the show is Dexter, and what made the show special was Dexter and Michael C. Hall. So the idea of just doing a show without him, it just doesn't make much sense. So his plan was this. The idea basically was that Dexter, several years later, had resisted killing all these years. He does get at least some small satisfaction working as a paramedic. But he's still living in the Pacific Northwest somewhere, which seems to be the haunting ground of serial killers. So some new big bad starts terrorizing the area, and Dexter tells himself, just out of curiosity, he's going to look into this. He's certainly not going to do anything about it, but he finds himself gradually being pulled into it more until finally the challenge is this person has to go. So that's basically what he had to say about if he had the chance to do a spinoff for Dexter. Now I'll say what we've seen in New Blood is not entirely different. We've seen Dexter, living a normal life, haven't killed in a long time. That's what he wanted to do. He just wanted to change it up and make him a paramedic. We didn't see him as a paramedic. We seen him working in the gun store, right? So, and then there was a serial killer that he had to take out, right? That came back and he had to take out. Same situation here. That's what happened. So really, it truly wasn't that different. It wouldn't have been that different. A little different take on what he's doing for a living. I mean, there was no plans of Harrison from what he said or anything like that. So it would have been more focused on Dexter. Do you think that this would have been better? I don't know. I think we may have gotten the same thing. Maybe if it didn't wrap the way it wrapped up, it would have been able to continue the way he had continued it in season after season. It would have been set up better for another season, unlike this show, which takes out Dexter, so it's not set up for another season. This is just the finale, and Dexter's death means it's over. Again, we also hear him say that Michael C. Hall did not want to come back. He was done with Dexter, and that is exactly the same place we're at right now. Michael C. Hall, he doesn't want anything to do with Dexter anymore. I think he's just done with the character. He just wanted to end it, basically like Harrison Ford did with Han Solo, right? He only came back if they were willing to kill Han Solo off, so he did not have to deal with, oh, are you coming back, or anything else like that. He just wanted to be done with the character. This is the same thing that's going on with him. So if there was some type of spinoff, he would not come back as the voice. He doesn't want to be a dog passenger. He doesn't want anything to do with it right now at this time in his life. In fact, he just recently announced that he's going on tour with his goddamn band, right? That's it. He's out. Also, we could take that Showtime did not want to do a show without him in it. So we could be in the exact same situation. They could be like, listen, he's gone. I don't know if it works with just Harrison. So Showtime may take that same thing with this New Blood and say we're not going to do a show without Michael C. Hall. But you tell me what you think in the comment section. Would you have rather seen it like this, or did you like the way that it ended? If you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and as always, subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.